Hello guys, good morning everybody. Today concept is about structural organization in animals. Here there are two parts are there. Part 1 animal tissues, part 2 morphology. This session is meant for animal tissues. Animal tissues. What is tissue? Tissue is a group of cells. They are structurally, functionally, and originally similar. Originally same or similar. Then that is called tissue. First tissue level organization was seen in cell and data. Later it will be upgraded into organ and organ system level. Then study about tissue is called histology. Histology. In animals, there are 4 types of tissues were there. That number 1, epithelial tissue. Number 2, connective tissue. Number 3, muscular tissue. And number 4, nervous tissue. So epithelial tissue is derived from ectoderm or endoderm or mesoderm. In some places it is derived from ectoderm. In some places it is derived from endoderm. And some places in our body it is derived from mesoderm. So that epithelial tissue is derived from all the 3 germinal layers is the conclusion. Next, connective tissue is derived from mesoderm only. Muscular tissue is derived from mesoderm only. Nervous tissue is derived from ectoderm only. So this is what the basic point, where different tissues of animal derived from different germinal layers. Now let me explain about the epithelial tissue first.
It's 20 hours.
Epithelial tissue, the term is given by scientist Bichat. Bichat is the one who given the name epithelial tissue. Sorry. Reich. Reich is the one who named the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue lies on basement membrane. This is basement membrane. This basement membrane have 2 parts. One part which is closer to the cells, which lies above on it. This is called basilar lamina. Basilar lamina. And another tissue which is closer to the connective tissue part. It means below the epithelial tissue, everywhere connective tissue is present. That part means the part of basement membrane which is closer to the connective tissue, which is half of the basement membrane, which is called reticular lamina. Reticular lamina. These 2 together called basement membrane. Above the basement membrane, epithelial tissue is present, whether it is present in single lining or double lining. If it is single lining, then that is called simple epithelium. If it is more than one lining, then that is called compound epithelium. Compound epithelium. Simple epithelium, let us discuss. Simple epithelium. What is exactly simple epithelium definition? On the basement membrane, cells are arranged in only one row. That is why it is simple epithelium. But it is again so many types. That first one is squamous. Let us see. Squamous epithelium means on the basement membrane, cells are rectangularly arranged. On the basement membrane, cells are arranged rectangularly. This is side view. In case of top view, aerial view, cells are arranged in hexagonal shape, like this. Even though they have a single nucleus that is at center. The squamous epithelium is also called lining epithelium or pavement epithelium. Pavement epithelium. As it is look like a tiles arrangement, it is called pavement epithelium. And it lines sometimes inside the organ and sometimes over the organ. This epithelium simply present in the wall of alveoli of lungs. Location number 1. Location number 2, Bowman's capsule, comma, glomerulus and Henle's loop of the nephron. In kidney, nephron is the functional unit. In that, Bowman's capsule, glomerulus and loop of Henle are composed of lining of squamous epithelium. Other than this, if you see conjunctiva, number 4, lymph vessels and blood vessels. Lymph vessels and blood vessels, when this epithelium is there, that is called mesothelium. Because it is derived from mesoderm. Next, another location. As it is present in the blood vessels, this is also called tessellated epithelium. As it shows wave motions, it is tessellated epithelium. It helps in the exchange of gases in the alveoli. It helps in the blood filtration in the Bowman's capsule by glomerulus. It also helps in the concentration of formation of concentrated urine, and it also helps in the blood transport. And tessellated epithelium is a peculiar name where you can find the wave types of motions in the blood vessel. Around the blood vessel, as this squamous epithelium is present, it is also showing some wavy motions. Understand? So these all are the examples of squamous epithelium. Apart from this, in the 6th, pleura membrane around the lungs, pericardium around the heart, meninges around the brain. All these are called mesothelium again. And endothelium is the lining around the blood vessels. Endothelium is another name which is given to the epithelium for exclusive on the blood vessels. But around the pleura, nothing but around the lungs, pleura, around the heart, pericardium, around the brain, meninges. This epithelium lining is mesothelium. This is about simple epithelial tissue. Now, simple squamous epithelium. Next, second type. We have seen that is the first one. In the simple epithelium, there is a squamous. Next one is simple cuboidal. Simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium. It seems simple epithelium means on the basement membrane, one lining of cells are there. That cells are arranged in cube shape or square shape. That's why it is simple cuboidal cells, right? Here also nucleus is a single located at center. Clear? But here the thing is, cuboidal epithelial cells, in some places, their surface is free surface. Some places, they have a brush bordered surface. This is also called microvilli. Some places, they have a cilia. Cilia means outgrowth, like this. This is ciliated surface. This kind of diversity of a surface you didn't see in the simple squamous. Simple cuboidal surfaces are type 1, type A you can see free surface, type B microvilli, type C ciliated. Free surfaces locations, if you see example, thyroid follicles. In thyroid gland, thyroid follicles were there. And germinal epithelium, cuboidal cells, primordium, nothing but ovary wall, seminiferous tubule wall, where spermatogenesis occurred, and also ovary wall where oogenesis occurred. Ovum is also modified simple cuboidal cell. Sperm is also modified simple cuboidal cell. So thyroid follicle is one example. Germinal epithelium is another example, and it is also present in DCT and collecting duct of the nephron. In DCT, collecting duct of the nephron. Microvilli, if you see, brush bordered, which increase the surface area, location is present in PCT of nephron, so that reabsorption takes place. Reabsorption takes place because of the increased surface area. That is a brush bordered epithelium is also called as. This is brush bordered epithelium, right? Now, ciliated epithelium, if you talk, the surface is having some outgrowth of like hair-like structures, the cilia, and the ciliated surface present in lower respiratory tract. Lower respiratory tract, mainly bronchi and bronchioles. So this is all about simple cuboidal epithelium. I hope you understand. Let me move to the another category, the third type of simple epithelium, that is columnar. Columnar epithelium, simple columnar epithelium also name. Here on the basement membrane, cells are arranged cylindrically, but nucleus is oval shaped, not round, and present at bottom. This is oval shaped nucleus at bottom, and this is cylindrical cell. Cylindrical shaped cell. Understand? Now, another important thing is some of the cells here are modified to secrete the mucus. Then they are called mucocyte or goblet cells. Goblet cell is a modified columnar epithelial cell which helps in secretion of mucus. That's why it's called mucocyte. Now types, if we see, just like a cuboidal, columnar also having some free surface. This is free surface, whereas if you see, this is microvilli, surface is microvilli, and this is ciliated. There are again three categories. This is brush bordered columnar epithelium, whereas before you have seen that cuboidal brush border. This is columnar brush border. This is ciliated columnar epithelium. Right. Now let us see the examples. Example for this is stomach and large intestine. Stomach and large intestine of the digestive tract consist of simple columnar epithelium, whereas mucocytes are also present here. These mucocytes helps in the secretion of mucus. In the stomach, acidity will be neutralized by the mucus because mucus is alkaline in nature. Mucus is base. Now, brush bordered epithelium, it also increase the surface area. Increase the surface area, which helps in absorption here. Whereas in the cuboidal, I have said reabsorption, but here absorption, and which is located in small intestine. That's why in small intestine, maximum food will be absorbed. Now, ciliated epithelium is present in upper respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract. Example, trachea. Clear? This is columnar epithelium. No. Another one is that is pseudo-stratified. Pseudo-stratified epithelium. This is belongs to simple epithelium only, but on the basement membrane, some large columnar cells with oval shape and short columnar cells with round shape, again followed by large columnar cells with oval shape, and again followed by short columnar cells with round shape. It is look like one cell is present above the another cell, but exactly it is present beside it. This is large columnar cell with oval shaped nucleus, whereas if you see this one, this is small or short small columnar cell with round shaped nucleus. Because of these two exhibition one after one, it gives us false vision. That's why it is called pseudo, means false, stratified means complex. It's look like complex, but it's not complex. It is also having plane surface or ciliated. They also have goblet cells, but they do not have brush border. Example, ducts of the glands. This is what? Finishing touch of the simple epithelium. In simple epithelium, there are four I discussed: squamous, cuboidal, columnar, and pseudostratified. Now, compound epithelium. Second type of epithelium, that is compound epithelium. Compound epithelium is a two categories. Category number one is stratified. Category number two is transitional. Transitional. Stratified means if this is the basement membrane, above the basement membrane, some columnar cells are present at the base about the two layers. Later, some cuboidal cells are present about two layer. Later, rectangular squamous cells are present. So on the basement membrane, many layers of cells, many layers of epithelial cells are present. That's why it is called stratified or compound. This stratified is two types: with keratin, without keratin. With keratin, it is called keratinized stratified epithelium. Keratinized stratified epithelium. Without keratin, this is called non-keratinized stratified epithelium, short forms. Okay. With keratin, this is present in dry surfaces. This is present in dry surfaces. Dry surfaces. Whereas without keratin, it is present in wet surfaces. Wet surfaces. Dry surfaces, if you want examples, like a skin. Wet surfaces, examples like vagina, urethra, buccal cavity, nasal chamber, everything. All these are the examples. Now, transitional epithelium means what? It is a stretchable in nature. Stretchable epithelium. That's why it is also called elastic in nature. Elastic epithelium also can be called. Urinary ducts and urinary bladder, where urine stores temporarily. These are made up of transitional epithelium. Altogether is simple, total simple and compound epithelium together is epithelium. Apart from this, in the epithelium, cell junctions are present. There are three types of cell junctions are present: gap junctions, tight junctions, and connective junctions. Nothing but adherences, communication junctions. Gap junctions, gap will be there between the cells so that materials can be exchanged with one cell to another cell according to their concentration gradient. Tight junctions, they prevent the leakage of substances. Adherent junctions, they are desmosomes, hemidesmosomes, and interdigitations. All they are meant for extra communication. Now, this is what the concept of the epithelium. Now, the next one is connective tissue. Connective tissue, also called a connective tissue proper. This is derived from mesoderm. Before only I told you, connective tissue is most abundant tissue. Most abundant tissue. In animals, this percentage is very. Now, the connective tissue is classified into three important types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, specialized connective tissue. In loose connective tissue, areolar connective tissue will come and adipose connective tissue will come. In dense connective tissue, regular and irregular will come. In specialized connective tissue, skeletal and fluidal connective tissue will come. Areolar connective tissue is most abundant connective tissue. I'm telling you, connective tissue is most abundant animal tissue and areolar connective tissue is most abundant connective tissue. Note it down. Next, adipose tissue is helps in storage of fats. Regular connective tissue, dense regular connective tissue, again two types: ligament, tendon. Ligament connects bone with muscle. Tendon connects with, sorry, here it will be wrong. Ligament connects with bone with the bone. Tendon connects with bone with the muscle. Irregular connective tissue means skin. Skeletal connective tissue, here two, they are supportive in nature: cartilage and bone. Fluidal connective tissue, here two, lymph and blood. So this is overview of connective tissue, in which very important things where generally questions are arising are areolar connective tissue, bone and blood. These three I'm going to explain. First, areolar connective tissue. Areolar connective tissue is a type of loose connective tissue, which means more matrix plus less cells plus fibers. Very simple equation. So if you see, this is a part of loose connective tissue, nothing but areolar connective tissue. One region of the areolar connective tissue. And entire this is called matrix. This is called matrix. Matrix is composed of glycoproteins plus mucopolysaccharides. These two together called matrix. Matrix is secreted by fibroblast cells. Fibroblast cell secretes matrix. Next one. In the matrix, there are different types of cells are present. First type of cells, macrophages. They are called macrophages. Macrophages are derived from monocytes. Monocytes. Macrophages do phagocytosis. Phagocytosis in nature. If any bacteria comes through skin and they want to enter to the blood, between the blood and skin there was a layer that is areolar connective tissue. Generally, areolar connective tissue is present around the blood vessels. Around the blood vessels. So, generally, the microorganisms enters areolar connective tissue. Their macrophages will do phagocytosis. Then prevention. Entry will be prevented. Now, another one. Another types of cells, there are mast cells, where their nucleus is cartwheel shaped. This is called mast cell. Mast cell is derived from basophil. Basophil is another type of WBC. This mast cell function is secreting of three important chemicals. One is heparin. It acts as anticoagulant. Anticoagulant. Due to the presence of this heparin, blood is not clotting inside the blood vessels. Next, another chemical is serotonin. Serotonin, which acts as vasoconstrictor. Vasoconstrictor, which increase the blood pressure by shortening the blood wall. Then third one is histamine, which act as vasodilator, which increase the blood vessel wall and decrease the blood pressure. This is the main function of mast cells. Basal cells also do same function. Now, another type of cell is a fibroblast cell. Fibroblast cell consists of different types of fibers that are produced by the fibroblast. These fibroblast cells can be considered as chief cells. They are fibroblast cells. Fibroblast cells are chief cells. Chief cells, because matrix as well as fibers both are secreted by fibroblast cells. About different types of fibers we will discuss later. Now, another fourth type of cell, that is plasma cell. This is called plasma cell. Plasma cell is derived from lymphocytes. Lymphocytes. Plasma cells produce antibodies. Mainly from B lymphocytes they are derived. This is how 4 different types of cells are present in the areolar connective tissue. And if you talk about the fibers, some fibers are there that are yellow in color. They have a branched. They are called elastic fibers. Elastic fibers. Elastic fibers are yellow in color. They have elastin protein. They are not bundled but branched. Another types of fibers are present. These fibers are bundled. They are called collagen fibers. They are actually white in color. And some other fibers are there. They are also white in color but not bundled. They are called reticulate fibers. Reticulate fibers. Reticulate fibers are single white color, whereas collagen fibers are bundled, grouped structures. Whatever, all the 3 different types of fibers are secreted by fibroblast cells. This is the story of areolar connective tissue. Another important concept in the connective tissue is bone. Bone. If you see the bone, longitudinal structure, bone is elongated and having 2 faces. This is upper face and this is lower face, or this is anterior part, this is posterior part. Bone can grow in both the direction because both the sides of the bone, they have a epiphyseal plates. They have a epiphyseal plates. That's why both the edge regions are called epiphysis. This is also epiphysis. This is also epiphysis. And entire this is called diaphysis. Also called metaphysis. This is general information about the bone. Layer around the bone means around the bone there was a layer which is called periosteum. Periosteum. In case of transverse section of the bone, you can see this is bone layer called periosteum. And in the transverse section of bone, you can also see the middle zone. This is called endosteum. Endosteum. From the periosteum to endosteum, there is a place. That place is called matrix. In the matrix, so many components are there. They are functional units of the mammalian bone. Then they are called Haversian canal system. Haversian canal system. This is called bone marrow. From the bone marrow, blood will be supplied from one Haversian canal systems to another Haversian canal system. Then there are a network of channels. This is called Walkman canal system. Walkman canal system. Haversian canal system, nothing but Walkman canal system, is a characteristic feature of only mammalian bone, not more than that. If we talk about the matrix of the bone consists of more inorganic and less organic. More inorganic, that is salts. Calcium phosphate is most abundant salt. Next, calcium carbonate. Proteins are very rich in the bone. They are called ossin protein and collagen protein. They are white fibers. So this is the simple structure of the bone. Clear? Now, next part of the connective tissue, that is blood. Blood is a fluid connective tissue. Blood is a fluid connective tissue which doesn't have fibers, means devoid of fibers. Any connective tissue consists of fibers except fluid connective tissue, example blood and lymph. Lymph is extracellular fluid. Now let me discuss about the blood. Blood consists of 55% of plasma and 45% of cells. Plasma consists of 92% of water and just 8 to 10%. Here 9, this is 90 to 92%. This is 8 to 10% are colloidal substances. Colloidal substances. So as more amount of water is there, plasma act as a matrix of the blood. Matrix of the blood is plasma, but this matrix do not have any fiber. Colloidal substances, if you see, they have organic and also inorganic. Organic part, nothing but protein. What are the proteins present in the plasma? Very, very important. Number 1, albumins. Number 2, globulin. Number 3, prothrombin. Number 4, fibrinogen. These are called plasma proteins. Albumin helps in the maintaining of blood volume. Globulin helps in the production of antibodies, at the same time transport of blood. Prothrombin and fibrinogen both are clotting proteins. Both are clotting proteins exist in plasma. Inorganic, nothing but salts, ions. In salts, mainly sodium chloride, that is 0.9%, that is called saline. That is called saline. So this is what about the plasma. Now, on the other hand, you can see that is the cells. In that, RBC, WBC, platelets are thrombocytes. RBC, they are red in color and they are round in shape or biconcave in shape Sometimes their arrangement is Rolex, they are round or biconcave, and nucleus is absent in the mature stage. Nucleus is absent in a mature stage. Their span is 120 days. Their volume is 45,000 to 50,000 per cubic millimeter. They are greater in number in male compared to the female. They formed at bone marrow. They formed at bone marrow. And they died at bone marrow and spleen. That's why spleen is called graveyard of RBC. RBC helps in transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So this is main point about the RBC. Understand? Now come to know about the WBC. WBC do not have a particular shape and they have a nucleus always. And if you talk about the WBC is two types. One is granulocytes, another one is agranulocytes. Before that, it needs some more space. So that I do one thing. I will explain blood platelets now. Later in the next phase, I will explain WBC. Blood platelets. Blood platelets. They are also called thrombocytes. They are also called thrombocytes. They are 1.5 lakh to 3 lakh per cubic millimeter. They are non-nucleated. Nucleus also is absent. They helps in blood clotting. They helps in blood clotting. Now, most important point that is about WBC. WBC, white blood cells. They are also called leukocytes. Leuco means white. WBC is of two types. Granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes means what? They have a granules plus nucleus. Agranulocytes have only nucleus. As granules are absent here, space is bigger, so that agranulocytes are bigger. Now, let us see the granulocytes. In that, first one is acidophil, also called eosinophil. In thus, they are about 2 to 3% in total. Nucleus is bilobed. Also, granules are present. They appear by acidic dyes. That's why eosinophils. Mostly in the allergic reactions, they appear. Very important. Second part is basophil. Just before in the areolar connective tissue I discussed, they produce mast cells in the areolar connective tissue. But here, if you see, nucleus is just like S-shaped, bilobed. They are 0.5 to 1%, very least percent. Basophils secretes just like heparin, histamine, and serotonin. Mast cells function. What I discussed at mast cells, it will be repeated here. Number 3, neutrophils. In case of acidophils, we need acidic dyes to see them. In basophils, we need to stain with the bases so that they appear. Neutrophils, we need to stain the blood with the both acidic and basic dyes. That's why neutrophil. Neutrophils have a nucleus that have a multi-lobed. That's why this is called polymorphonuclear cells. They are phagocytic cells. One and only phagocytic cells in the granulocytes is neutrophils. Neutrophils nucleus is multi-lobed. They are about 60%. 60% of the WBC are neutrophils. So this is an important data of granulocytes of the WBC. Now, agranulocytes, first type is lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are 20 to 25%. They have a large nucleus. There are two types, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. Now, B lymphocytes produce antibodies. T lymphocytes do cell-mediating immunity. It is for viral infection. It is for bacterial infection. Second one is monocytes. Monocytes are large cells. They have a pseudopodia, just like neutrophils. They are also phagocytic nature. Phagocytic cells. They are about 6 to 8% in total. So this is the contribution of different types of WBC in total and their functions. More important point here is not all WBC are phagocytic in nature. 2 cells of WBC only phagocytic in nature. Number 1 is neutrophils and monocytes. These 2 are phagocytic. In the question, if what are the WBC that is phagocytic in nature, means both will come. In a question, if what are the granulocytic phagocytic cells, means neutrophils. What are the agranulocytic phagocytic cells, means monocytes will come. So this is about the total blood. Study about blood is called hematology. Now, epithelial tissue and connective tissue is completed. Now, muscular tissue. There are 3 types of muscles are there. Muscular tissue. In animals, there are 3 types of muscles are there. All muscles are derived from mesoderm only. First type of muscle is skeletal muscle. Second type of muscle is smooth muscle. Third type of muscle is cardiac muscle. If you see some comparisons with the features. The first feature now I'm going to discuss is shape. Shape of the skeletal muscle is cylindrical. Like this. And they have a nucleus at sides only. Smooth muscles have a fusiform shape, tapered ends, they have a single nucleus. Cardiac is also, but it have a branches. Like this. Cylindrical, this is also cylindrical, but this is spindle shape. Spindle shape. This is the first point. Second, if you talk about the nucleus, syncytial. Syncytial means many nucleus at peripheral. Peripheral means sides. Here nucleus is uninucleated at center. Here nucleus is only one at center. Single nucleus at center. Next, if you see the branches absent, present. If you see control, this is controlled by central nervous system. That's why it is called voluntary. It is controlled by autonomous nervous system, so that it is involuntary. It is controlled by self. So autorhythmic center. That's why it is self-controlled, and also influenced by autonomous nervous system. So involuntary finally. And fifth point, location. This is with bone connected by tendon. Smooth muscle is present in internal organs. That's why visceral muscle it is called. Internal organs. Cardiac muscle, heart. Next. Proteins present here, actin, myosin, troponin, tropomyosin, etc. Smooth muscles consist of all this, and calmodulin is extra protein. Here cardin is extra. If you see some intercalated discs, here this is absent, here this is absent, here only present. They are cell junctions. Last one, mitochondria. There are 2 to 3 mitochondria here in skeletal muscle, 5 to 10 mitochondria here there. Greater than 30 mitochondria are present in a cardiac muscle to provide ultimate source of ATP, nothing but energy. This is overall view of muscular tissue. Now, nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is derived from ectoderm generally, but little exception is there. Let me discuss that in general. Nervous tissue is composed of 50% of neurons and another 50% are glial cells. Glial cells called helper cells. Neurons are 50% and glial cells are 50%. Generally, neurons in animals are different types. First one, unpolar neurons. Unpolar neurons. Unpolar neuron means neuron doesn't have a pole, but it has a nucleus without axon and dendrite. Example for this is cnidarians, coelenterate, hydra, where nerves first started, diffusible nerve net. And second type is unipolar neuron. Student generally confuse here. Unpolar, unipolar look like same, but I is the different. Okay. Unipolar neuron means they have a one pole, that is axon. These kind of neurons are present in the embryonic stages of the higher vertebrates. Embryonic stage of higher vertebrate. Next. Third type of neurons are pseudo-unipolar neurons. Pseudo-unipolar neurons. Pseudo-unipolar neurons means they have a single axon, but it has a branches, right? It look like a two branches, but it is simply only one. This type of neurons are present in dorsal trunk of the spinal cord. Example, dorsal trunk of the spinal cord. And another type of neuron, which is called bipolar neuron, fourth type, bipolar neuron. Bipolar neuron is simply, this is one side dendrite and another side axon is present. Example, they are present in retina of eye, olfactory lobe of nose, cochlea of ear are the examples, bipolar neurons. Apart from all these, multipolar neurons are present. They are fifth type. Multipolar neurons have so many processes. One of the process can be continued as axon and it will be terminated as axon terminals and where synapses can be generated. This is multipolar neuron present in central nervous system and also spinal cord. They have a cyton, axon and dendrites. About this in nervous system deeply we will discuss. This is 50% of the nervous system which is occupied. And what about the glial cells? Let us see. Glial cells are also called helper cells. As all the types of neurons are always busy in excite and conduction and transmission of nerve impulse, glial cells helps to feed them, helps to protect them, helps to mature them. There are four types. Number one, astrocytes. Astrocytes are also called blood-brain barriers. They helps in feeding. Number two, oligodendrocytes. Oligodendrocytes helps in formation of myelin sheath around the axon. Formation of myelin sheath. And number three, neuroglial cells. Neuroglial cells. Neuroglial cells are phagocytic in nature. Phagocytic in nature, they are derived from, very important, they are derived from monocytes. Monocytes means blood cells, WBC. Blood is connective tissue. Connective tissue is derived from mesoderm, but nervous tissue is derived from ectoderm. but this is mesoderm. Except neuroglial cells, all the compounds of nervous system derived from ectoderm only, but microglial cells or neuroglial cells are derived from mesoderm. This is exception. Function of neuroglial cells is phagocytosis. Function of oligodendrocyte is formation of myelin sheath. Function of astrocytes is feeding them nothing but food supplement of the neuron. So this is how nervous system was existed in the animals. Today I have taught you 4 different types of animal tissues: epithelial, connective, muscular, and nervous tissue. Second part of the structural organization in animals, that is morphology. There we will discuss about some animals. Until that, please revise and write exam well. All the best and bye.